the one in her 40s, she's ripping my shirt off. This 20-something girl, she undresses herself and she pounces on me. She's taking my pants off for 5 seconds. Like, what the fuck is happening? Don't talk about creativity and passion and when you're living off your parents' money.
Yeah.
Some of us can afford to do that, great, do that. But most of us can't.
Yeah. Are we good? Okay. We have with us Niraj, as they call you on the show. Every time they said Niraj, I was like, how has he not corrected them yet?
It's futile. Fuck it.
Yeah. So you were on this show called The Apprentice.
Yeah.
And it's on Netflix now. Whoever hasn't watched it, it's really good. You represented India. And what I really liked about it is on the show you kept talking about values. And like throughout the show, no matter what the outcome was, like you made sure that you were like solid. And you really showcased Indian values also in a lot of ways. Like an Indian who sees that, they'll recognize. And like till the end, you respected everyone respected you, and like it made me at least very happy to watch. I was just like, I watched the show and I don't want to spoil it, but I only watched it to a certain episode.
Okay.
Yeah. So how was that experience? How did it even happen? Like, were there auditions? How did it happen?
So yeah, of course. I mean, that's the format of any reality show. We've got audition processes for selection. How this happened to me? 2020 January. Okay, January 18th, if I'm not wrong. A professor of mine. So I've done my MBA in sports management from Symbiosis. So
SSSS.
SSSS. Yeah, Symbiosis School of Sports Science.
Yeah.
Somebody pay me for saying this. So I've done my MBA in sports management, so I have a background in sports, a management-specific background in sports, and before that, I used to play football professionally.
Okay.
So having that kind of an experience of being on field as an athlete and also having a different perspective on sports as an ecosystem, a management perspective, when this opportunity came, when I came to know that One Championship is bringing the Apprentice franchise to Asia and they're looking for contestants from across the world, I thought that, wow, this competition is custom made for somebody like me, because it was a sports business competition. And a professor of mine sent me this LinkedIn post in January 2020. And I was like, okay, interesting, looks interesting. I just filled in. I remember the very first process of this journey was to send in a video as to why you should be selected for the competition. That's the format for any interview / reality show, anything.
Auditions are done like that now.
Why? They start with, why do you want to be part of it? So that I sent in my introduction video, why I think I should be on the show. And 5 months passed by. Nothing happened. And by this time, the world is on its knees. We've been hit by the pandemic. And all of us are back home. And I've forgotten about it. Honestly, I've forgotten about it. And May 5, I get a mail from Refinery Media, which is the production house behind Apprentice.
Right.
And then they tell me, congratulations, Niraj, we've seen your video and we would like to invite you to the next round of auditions. Then fast forward May, June, July, August, September. In 5 months, I had 3 rounds of interviews with the executives of the production house, with other officials, and finally with Chatri Setchutong, the CEO of One Championship.
Yeah.
And on 23rd of September, my final interview with Chatri is when I got an official confirmation that, you know what, you're on the show.
Were there other people from India?
I have no idea. I am sure there are, because I was told that there were some 5,000-ish entries from India alone.
Oh, wow.
But I don't know, personally don't know any of them. That information wasn't revealed to me.
That is, like, if you were to go on a reality show, like, this is probably the best, if not one of the best, because, like, I'm sure after seeing you on there, you could have easily gone on roadies. You could have gone on any of the shows that we have here. But then this one, like even the exposure it gives you and the kind of people who get to know you, like even if it's like much lesser than what you would get on an Indian reality show, like the quality of that is much higher, you know? Like if you were on an Indian reality TV show, out of it you'd get like a huge following who really doesn't care about what you do. They just want to see you dance on reels. They want to see you do trends. They want to do that. But then you chose that show, The Apprentice, which is renowned worldwide. I've seen clips from the Donald Trump one because everyone has. They're just memes all over the place.
It's memes, that's
yeah. But then this one was really cool because it had that essence of a reality show. Like it had the drama, it had like the tasks that you have to perform. But at the same time, it was like the business tasks were really, you know, for someone who studied business and they see that, they're like, oh, is this what it's like in an environment?
Yeah.
And the fact that there's people from all these countries, like you could see the cultures being showcased on the show.
Definitely. I think that's one of the biggest USPs that One Championship, the Apprentice One Championship edition had. The sheer cultural diversity.
Yeah.
I mean, here I am in a room full of individuals who have nothing in common with me. Geographical differences, cultural differences, in many cases, upbringing differences, ambition-wise different, but all here for the same reason.
Yeah.
And after spending considerable time with them, and you know, not just spending time with them under normal situations, under highly pressurized situations, you've got this eliminations going on, business challenges, physical tire, mentally getting tired, shooting, all of this. You really get to know the innate nature of every individual. Because it's not just oh, hi, hello, I'm this person, let's do. No, it's like you're fucked in your head, you're tired, you're pissed, you're annoyed, you're homesick, you're a ton of different things, and you have to work.
You're seeing them at their worst and their best at the same time.
At the best time. So I think innately all of us are the same here. I mean, this is something that I'm very big upon. Always have been that way, but especially after the competition. The differences are peripheral.
Yeah.
A different color, a different accent. That's all, man. That's all just on the surface. Innately, what drives a person is the same across the world.
Yeah.
Emotions are geography agnostic. It's the same. Innate emotions, they are the same. So that way, it wasn't really that difficult. Because, I'm having a little bit of, probably a day or two of just getting acclimatized to this person. The way he's talking. These things are very physical, like some accents are a little difficult to catch.
Yeah.
Just because we're not used to it. But after that, it's like, this fucker is saying the same thing that my homie would have said back home. It's just that the accent is a little different.
Yeah. And the way they say things, like on the show, there were a couple of times where you were saying things and I could see everyone was misunderstanding the stuff that you were saying. You know, like the part where you spoke about, you said this guy is low on values, this guy is this, this guy is that. Yeah. And for them, it was like, whoa, how can he say that? Yeah. But here, it's a very common thing to say, like, I don't like this guy's values. Like, it's not that terrible of a thing to say.
Because, I think to start with, यहाँ पे ना, I mean, where we are, values, honestly, to start with, itna important hai hi nahi, I feel. I mean, people don't view it at the gravitas that it should be seen. But Southeast Asia, that particular region, geography, respect, integrity, and the respect, especially respect. It's one of the like, you don't give me money, don't give me food, don't give me nothing, but you better respect me. That's the attitude. And it's just the way, the history of that geography, the history of the people there, the past, what has happened, and just the general cultural upbringing, respect and values. Now, one apprentice, Chatri, owner, CEO of One Championship, he's so big on values. And it's like he's always looking for individuals who are sharp, who are educated, who are skilled, but at the end of the day, who have very strong values. And he's a very big proponent of these Asian values, what he calls. Of again, coming back to the same thing, respect. I love this thing here.
Yeah, it's
I'm
very
coming. We are making a quick trip down to your hometown to get these.
done. Yeah, but that's the thing. Like, even if you watch Japanese cartoons
Yeah.
or anime,
Yeah.
like they keep talking about respect.
Yeah.
And it's sure, like, even so, that's what I'm trying to say is like to their kids also,
Yeah.
they're trying to instill that
Yeah.
from the beginning.
Yeah.
And they're always like, Japanese culture is one of the most fascinating
Yeah.
there is. And whoever, like, people ask you
Yeah.
what's this country that you want to
Mhm.
visit, like
Yeah.
Japan is
Definitely.
top on
yeah.
my list. It's just, I've never seen a country like
It's
it.
just out of this world, yeah. I mean, because I have friends from Japan, and there
Mm.
was a Japanese on this show also.
Yeah.
Um, but Japan as a culture is so interesting. I mean, if you know about samurais
Yeah.
and their system of their ritual of harakiri, like if you've brought dishonor to your clan, you have to commit suicide.
Hmm.
Nobody's gonna kill you.
Yeah.
You have to take your sword and you have to slash your gut, because they believe that the gut is where the human soul lies.
Hmm.
So you slash your gut, your soul exits the body, and you die. And that is surely because if you've done anything which has brought disrespect to the clan.
Yeah.
So definitely, I mean, and Japan on every front, yeah. If you have to talk to some hardcore Japanese guy who knows the night culture, I
Yeah.
think Tokyo is has one of the best nightlife there is. We're
Yeah.
talking about anything and everything. So Japan, yes, man, and their fascination with anime.
Yeah.
I think Japan realities are really blurred between real life and something like an anime.
Yeah, I always used to think that they try to show the things that they lack in a way in anime. Like, if you
Yeah.
notice anime, everyone has huge eyes.
Huge eyes.
But that's so different from the reality,
Yeah.
and even the people are super tall.
Super tall. Yeah.
With
Mm-hmm.
like Asian people
Yeah.
all across, most
Yeah.
of them are like
Yeah.
the average height is pretty
Yep.
low,
Yep.
even in
Yep.
India.
Hmm.
So that's always been fascinating. Anime has taken over the world, bro.
It has,
Like,
man.
every-
And rightfully. Just look at the sheer storylines that they have.
Yeah.
Just look at that, man. The sheer character graph, character arc,
Yeah.
that where a protagonist, antagonist, or just any character starts, and through the journey of the anime, where his character, how he develops, he or she, how the up and downs.
Right.
That is crazy.
Yesterday, I put out a story saying what would you guys want us to talk about, and
Okay.
at least 4 or 5 people were like anime.
Anime.
Yeah.
Oh, definitely, yeah.
I've only watched this one anime called My Hero Academia.
My Hero Academia, yeah.
And I didn't watch it fully because it's such a time commitment. Like, if you're going to watch a whole anime, it's got 500 episodes. Not
Yeah.
this one, but
Mm.
like Naruto and all that.
Aram se.
Do you watch any? yourself?
My brother is a very big anime fan, and I'm currently working on a project which is somewhat comic centric. So anime, manga, we have discussions around that. So, but coming back to it, I am a very big fan of this anime series called One Piece.
Right.
Yeah, it is one of the most successful franchises there are, and I love how the entire story has been crafted, the characters to it,
Yeah.
the up and downs, all that chaos that is happening, and beautifully crafted the storyline.
They don't seem like cartoons. Like, at the end of the day,
Yeah.
they're like very maturely written. Like,
Yes,
there's a lot
yes.
to it. And a lot of anime is not even for kids. Like,
Yeah.
they're like 16 plus, 18
Yeah, that's
plus.
that's what
Yeah.
we're talking about. Adults
Yeah.
who are independent, earning on their own, living their own lives, and spending a major part of their free time, leisure time, and probably even work time on anime.
Yeah.
So interesting, man. Very fascinating. If I could just live in Japan for 6 months, that would be a ride in itself.
Yeah. It's very interesting. Even the food,
Mm-hmm.
like, it's famous
Yeah.
everywhere.
Mm-hmm.
What's the thing you said about comics? You're working on a comic series.
So, see, I've got vested interest in Pune.
Okay.
Okay.
Wow.
And
That is-
I look at myself and my team as people who are going to put Pune on the map.
right.
That's my personal aim. Making Pune one of the cultural hotspots of the world. And I don't see why it can't be done.
Yeah.
And through my personal achievements and trying to get people who are really doing something up,
Yeah.
helping them. I think we are really at the beginning of a wave, because Pune, see, now I have the past 5 years of my life, I have really spent in only exploring different avenues.
Mm-hmm.
Sports is something which is like the back of my hand. I have spent so much time in those circles,
Yeah.
management circles and athlete circles. I know them in and out. Or any big organization, sports organization of the country. I know people there because I've spent time there, I've worked
Yeah.
there. At a point, I wanted to explore something different than sports. That is when something like entertainment was something that I started exploring. I've been working for Dharma Productions for almost more than 1.5 years now, and being in those circles, seeing what's happening there, on the creative front, on the entertainment front. When I come back, I think to myself, yeah, you know what, Pune has got. If there is any city in the country which could challenge Bombay,
Mm.
it has to be Pune. It has to be Pune.
Right.
Because it's not just, I think commerce plays an important role. There are people in Pune who are really rich and influential.
Yeah.
And there are, that is an important part of the equation. But apart from that, there are these talents in Pune.
Mm-hmm.
Like you being one
Yeah.
of them. I look at all these individuals that who are really doing something on their fronts. And if I could get all of them together, help them one up in
Yeah.
any way, I think we're building a fucking empire, man. And
Yeah.
I'm very, very, very almost cocky
About it.
about it.
Yeah.
Almost.
Yeah, man, this is one thing like we've discussed with my friends also, because right now for what I'm doing, it will be very easy for me to just pack up and go to Bombay.
Yeah.
Do this out of there.
Yeah.
Like I'll have access to more people.
Yeah.
But I've been living here all my life, and there is something about this. Like it's kind of this untapped potential that there is, because the kind of people who come here, they come from all over the country.
Yeah.
And even with this podcast, what we want to do, like we want this to be a thing where if you're coming to Pune, like you do this podcast. Like all the comedians in India, like I'm in touch with all of them. I'm like, if you're coming to tour in Pune, like you have to do this podcast.
Definitely, yeah. So see, coming back to your question of comics,
Yeah.
My team and I are working with Anup. Anup is one of the, I would say, veterans. He must be a 30-something guy, okay? But the sheer community building that he has been doing for the almost 7 to 8 years, it's mind-boggling. And Purana is the comic, which is basically Mahabharata 2.0.
Okay.
Roughly speaking, it's nothing related to Mahabharata, but some elements of Mahabharata have been taken into this.
Right.
And he wanted this to be Puna's very own comic series, which it is. And he came to us, so I run a branding agency, by the way, Confluence Media, where we work with a lot of brands, upcoming brands, startups, established players in and around Pune, and we've got some clients from across the country as well. It's just a 2-year-old firm, but I know that anything and anyone, if branded well, could really make an impact.
Yeah.
And because I have a bias towards all things Pune,
Yeah.
I am using my branding expertise to help these individuals grow. And of course, nothing is charity here. I know if anything has to work, I am a very big believer it has to work on all fronts.
Yeah.
Creatively, emotionally, monetarily. On every front, it has to be a tick.
Yeah.
There's no charity here. So definitely, we're doing some very exciting work with the comic. The comic is actually coming out on February 28th.
Okay.
In almost 2 weeks' time. And the whole plan of it is that, see, nothing of this sort has been attempted in the country. That is something that really gets me excited even more. And once we get this comic Purana in as many hands as we can, through my other connections, I want this to be a feature film. That's the long term of this. But for right now, we really want, because see, India already has a good interest in all things comic.
Yeah.
Manga readership is really high in the country. The only reason that Indians are not reading Indian comics is that so much of it is still Panchatantra, Supandi, those Tinkle Digest.
Yeah.
They are the foundation. I mean, Raj Comics.
Yeah.
They are like the OG comics.
Yeah.
It's always gonna be there. But today's youth want something more because they've been exposed to so much more. They've been exposed to Netflix and Amazon and mangas and whatnot. So that influences their style. That influences their preferences, their tastes. So I think with Purana, we've got something which is based in tradition, but which has a very global appeal.
Yeah.
And one of the main protagonists is based off me, my face. So my face is on one of the protagonists of the series. So vanity.
That's very cool. So when you say it's like Puna's very own comic, like is the story based in Pune or
No,
it's just made?
The entire team is
Okay.
Pune.
Okay.
Is from Pune. It's coming out of Pune.
Right.
No, nobody has has any kind of ownership over Mahabharata. No, but we have given a very unique twist, a spin-off, if I may,
Yeah.
to it.
So it's when you say Mahabharata, it's like the story of good and evil.
Yeah.
So that's like even Harry Potter is based on the Bible in a lot of ways. So like if we having something like that based on the Mahabharata, you could have multiple things based on the Mahabharata, and all of them would be unique.
Just imagine, imagine somebody in Delhi right now is working on another version of Mahabharata.
Yeah.
Somebody in Kerala, somebody is doing the same thing. What if these different universes at some point have a clash?
Yeah.
Just imagine the brainstorming session.
Yeah.
You will be blown away.
So it's like kind of like Marvel, but
Yeah, and that is how even they do it here.
yeah.
Honestly, I think Marvel is two things: overrated and second, saturated.
Yeah.
I think this is the year of DC. With Dane Johnson coming in, this is the year of DC.
As kids, everyone watches the superhero films. Like I watched almost everything there was.
Shaktiman aa raha hai, bhai sahab.
They're making
Shaktiman
a
is coming.
Shaktiman feature film. Who do you think is going to play him? Is it announced?
It's not announced. I just hope it's not him. I hope just Mr. Mukesh is not playing Shaktiman.
No, I think it's going to be Akshay Kumar, bro, because he plays everything.
Yeah,
It,
I love the guy. I love the guy. And so, you know, somebody who's from the industry, he's one of the guys with the most, the best work ethics. Work ethic is something that the Indian film fraternity, especially Bollywood, lacks big time. Big time. But he's one of the few actors, performers who is at the peak of his career and still disciplined. That's a very rare.
So much. Like
he's churning out 4-5 films every year.
Yeah.
उसका 5 साल में उसने 25 पिक्चर निकाला होगा. यहाँ पे एक्टर्स 4 साल में एक पिक्चर निकाल रहे हैं.
And he's been doing it for very
long time. I think, you know, if I may, I think why he's able to do it, you know, because he's not an actor.
Yeah.
He's a sportsman.
And he's an entertainer.
He's an entertainer at the very core. His background is in sports.
Yeah.
He understands, you know, head down, work. That sets him apart.
Yeah. And he's also realized, I'm not going to put out Oscar-worthy films. I need to entertain. Yeah. I'm going to give people as much content as I can. Yeah. And they're going to be entertained. They're not going to watch this and be like, oh, what an actor, what a film. They're going to sit there for an hour and a half, have a good time and leave. Forget about the movie entirely. That's his... he's tapped into that. Salman
Definitely. But that being said, I also feel it's a volume game for him for sure. But even in that volume, a lot of it is class. Yeah. So there's he churns out some really good films also. I mean, out of 5, 2 are really good. As per my sensibilities, 2 are really good films. 3 can be passed.
Yeah.
Salman Khan, I don't want to talk about him. His filmography doesn't suit my sensibilities. Let's put it that way.
Yeah. Some of them, bro, like the first Dabangg film I watched, and I was like, that was pretty good.
Nice, yeah.
Like, it's not an acting masterclass. Yeah. But it was really entertaining.
It was nice, yeah.
But then some of them are kind of... Even Wanted was kind of nice. I liked it when I first watched it. I don't know how I would feel about it.
You should watch the original one. The South Indian one.
The Wanted?
Yeah. Wanted is a remake.
Okay.
This brings me to another point of how Bollywood today has become just a remaking machine. You know, if you're in the film industry, then you should be in South.
Yeah.
The sheer quality of work. I mean, it's crazy. It's like, kya nasha maar kya hai bhai?
Yeah.
We're talking about Kerala industry. We're talking about Tamil Nadu. It's just, man, what the fuck is happening?
Yeah, but one of the things about the movies there, they're limitless because when they're sitting in a room, there are no limits. They're like, it can be as wacky, it can be as absurd.
Yeah.
It should be entertaining.
And they're very true.
Hmm.
They are very true to themselves. By any chance, did you watch Pushpa?
No, not yet.
Okay. Pushpa is the biggest hit of 2021.
Yeah.
Biggest. And watch the film. It might not suit you, but you will be entertained. At the end of it, you will be like, fuck, what was this?
Yeah.
The people in South do one thing which nobody else can do, and which is they own it. Whatever it is the most almost embarrassing thing, but they own it.
Yeah.
They've got no two qualms about it. When a Bollywood tries to do that, it is like,
It comes off as pretentious.
it's pretentious, awkward, cringy.
Yeah.
Bollywood should be looking out for its own voice. So the South have found their voice,
Yeah.
and they're fucking owning it,
Yeah.
100%. If you're trying to just copy off that, so much of movies in Bollywood is just for the commercial value, because
Yeah.
break even तो हो जाएगा यार,
हाँ.
कितना भी बकवास पिक्चर होने दो. So that is also something that I want to change. That is where me and my team come in. So I run a film production company in Pune called Canopy Lore Crafts.
Okay.
And my team and I have been very deliberately trying to put out content which makes sense, which is regional in nature but global in appeal. And it's a small company right now, but we know that with time we will scale it up to something with a force to be reckoned with, man. I
Yeah.
mean, that's the intention that we go in with.
You're doing all these things. Does it become like, is it a challenge to focus on all of them? Like you're working with the comics, you're
Yeah.
doing the branding,
Yeah.
you're doing
Mhm.
the thing that you just mentioned
Yeah.
about. Like how do you keep track of everything?
You need to be passionate. I mean, you're doing this.
Yeah.
You understand what I'm talking about. These ventures. One thing that me and my team do very beautifully, that we're hard hitters, man. We are really passionate about this to the point that we almost forget eating, sleeping, but at the end of it, we're happy with what we're doing.
Yeah.
And more than that, it is making sense to us. We really believe we are pioneers. We are at the cusp of something really big, and it's just a matter of time before it blows up.
Yeah.
That's the vision. But apart from that, the daily nitty-gritties, it's tiring, man.
Yeah.
It's the unsexy things. It's the things which has no glamour. It is sheer repetition.
And no one knows about these things.
Nobody knows about it, yeah. And people would not, unless it's really deliberately spoken about.
Yeah.
I mean, today I met some young talents from Pune just before coming here, just talking about what we could do with them. It takes time, man, because a lot of what we do is grooming talent. There are individuals in their early 20s, have the talent but don't have the mentorship. And there is nobody around that they could look up to. The scene of Pune is very scattered right now. There are people who are doing things, but it's so scattered.
Yeah.
My entire attempt is to get it together, consolidate it, and make it. See, a very big problem is financial sensibilities. Is it making sense financially? Because people start off, but they don't know how to convert it monetarily.
Yeah.
This is where somebody like me comes, and I'm trying to mentor them in ways that, okay, this is what you're doing. Probably this is what we can do to make it get brands involved. Because see, at the end of it, I'm a branding guy.
Yeah.
How to get brands involved? How to make sense? So kaisa, I'm trying to shoot the many birds with
One stone.
Something like that. That okay, something which is helping me with my branding, with the Pune scene, with the networking, and just meeting people from the scene.
Yeah.
So
Like a symbiosis. Everyone's like feeding off of each other.
yeah, man, it's very complementary. What I do is very complementary in nature, but
Yeah.
nonetheless, these are different ventures which need a different strategy altogether going in.
Hmm.
So trying my bit, brother, trying my bit.
That's very cool. Like, I mean, even with all these things, it's like you have to keep doing them until it's trial and error mostly. Like
Trial and error. See,
a lot of things that people start up, even this podcast, a lot of
Yeah.
it's like hit and miss. Like I do something and it works. I'm like, okay, I need to do more
Yeah,
of this.
yeah.
Something doesn't work. I'm like, okay, let's
This
not do
can't,
this
yeah.
anymore.
and see, you might start with passion, but the only thing you can sustain it with is with acumen and objective acumen. If let's say one thing did not work, but you really had a good time, it is where your passionate energies, creative
Yeah.
energies are fulfilled, but it's not making sense. People are not watching it. That is when you have to make a very objective decision. Cut it off.
Yeah.
This is where a lot of people are not able to do that. Like I know some very close friends of mine who are into different creative ventures. It is not making sense financially. They're wasting their time. Their age is running, but they're not able to come in terms with it.
Yeah.
If they ask me, I tell them to stop whatever they're doing right away. Get a job, first of all. Fucking, because देखो यार, don't talk about creativity and passion and ye when you're living off your parents' money.
Yeah.
Some of us can afford to do that, great, do
Yeah.
that. But most of us can't.
Yeah.
So if you can't, stop blabbering about creativity. Get a fucking job, a 9 to 5 job, and pursue your passions post 5 o'clock.
Yeah.
Don't be that fucker who says that, oh, I'm going to live my passion, even if
Yeah.
I'm broke and I'm starved.
Want to
It
be an
doesn't make
artist.
sense.
Feed
Yeah.
yourself first.
I'll slap such people first. Yeah. See, because see, if you have the luxury, if you're from a financially comfortable family, you have the support of your family, then experiment.
Yeah.
Then I would say, then experiment. But if you're not, if you're like most of us who's got other things also, who has to get some money in for yourself, for your family, then don't blindly follow your passion.
Yeah.
Then find a thing which could sustain your passion long term, because otherwise this attitude, your passion is going to die out in 2
Yeah.
years. Aram se.
I'll tell you something interesting about this. So I know a lot about the comedy scene in India, right?
Okay. Have
Everyone,
you ever been into a stand-up comedy?
yeah, I do open mics
Yeah.
here every now and then.
Yeah.
So every big comic that you know, they're from good families, like financially stable families.
Okay.
Because someone who's broke can't go do open mics
Yeah,
and
yeah,
say
yeah.
jokes.
Yeah.
I don't know if I know any, like in other fields we have like these self-made artists who have come from nothing.
Yeah.
But in comedy you don't have that. There is this one joke that one of my favorite comics does.
Yeah.
He says that every comedian in India has a joke about flights.
Okay.
Only 5% of the Indian population has been on flights.
Okay.
So it's like we're performing for these 5%
Yeah.
of the people.
Yeah.
Like the main audience, they don't have a clue what we're talking about.
Okay. Okay.
Right.
Comedians are an interesting bunch here. I mean, I've stayed wary of them, honestly, because sometimes I feel it becomes almost an intellectual masturbation. But I really feel comedians are some of the most intelligent people I've met.
Yeah. You need to be smart to be funny, otherwise it doesn't happen. A lot of the stuff that comedians do,
Yeah.
good comedians, like there are comedians who come and talk about is like, oh, I'm single, I don't get any girls, I don't like self-deprecation over and over again.
Yeah.
That is okay, but like the comedians that are huge,
Yeah.
they're really smart people, and the reason that people enjoy their work is like they're making people see things that they usually don't see.
Yeah.
Like I'm gonna bring my perspective. It's going to be funny at the same time, but
Yeah.
it's something you go and think about at the end of the day. That's what good comedy is.
Definitely. I honestly feel that our comedians have a certain ability to show the society its real image. Because the things that we really find funny, somewhere down the line we know it's the truth.
Yeah.
You know, what this guy is expressing through humor is no laughing matter at all.
Yeah.
And the sheer irony of it is what makes things so funny.
Yeah. In India, it's a little tricky to get away with it because
Yeah,
if you
yeah.
once you start getting in deep,
Yeah.
you're going to upset a lot of people.
Mhm.
There is something about people in India is like they kind of don't like looking at the reality.
Yeah.
Like they like to be happy in their own
Yeah.
bubble.
Yeah.
So that's why a lot of comics here come and talk about flights and this and that.
Yeah,
like they're all surface level things. But
Mhm.
when someone comes and talks about like dark things, like people are like, "What are you talking about? Stop this!"
Yeah, yeah.
And they get into a lot of trouble.
How's Pune's comic scene?
It's pretty good. Like I know some of them. I've got a couple on the podcast also. There are people coming out of Pune because the scene in the comedy scene in India overall is very young, and in Pune it's even younger.
Okay.
So there are open mics happening every weekend, and people are doing it. Some of them are going to make it big.
Yeah.
Some people are still like getting like in touch with, they're like, what can I do? What can't I do?
Yeah.
Because with comedy, the only thing that makes you better is doing comedy. You have to be on stage. You can't stand in front of a mirror and practice.
Yeah. Okay.
So all these comics abroad that you see, they're huge. They've been doing open mics for the last 15 to 20 years every night.
Okay.
Multiple open mics every night. Because there is a scene in New York, there's a scene in LA.
Yeah.
In Pune, you're getting 2 spots every weekend.
Yeah.
So, and they're 4-minute spots usually. So you're not getting much stage time to like perfect your
craft.
Yeah. Let's talk about the NFT project that you're doing.
Yep. So tell me, man, is any particular question regarding that? Or?
So first thing is NFTs are new and not a lot of people know. Like we've been hearing NFTs for the past year, but I still feel like a lot of people don't know what NFTs are.
Yeah. Oh, that's definitely true. In a room of 1 million people, probably 100 people do understand, have heard the word NFT, but 2 of them, 10 of them know the full form, 2 of them really know what's happening.
Yeah.
How it works. So my interest in NFTs started in 2021 January-ish.
Right.
When I follow a lot of these influencers / businessmen on Instagram.
Gary Vee type people.
Yeah, Gary Vee type people. And I just when Meta Cohen bought this NFT for 69 million. I was like, 69 million for what? I just wanted to see what is worth 69 million in today's time. And when I saw it was just a collage of digital art, almost everyone was ridiculing it. But I was thinking, no. Somebody who's got 69 million cannot be a fool. Majority of these guys who are laughing don't even have 1 million.
Yeah.
Even 500,000.
Yeah.
Even 250,000.
Yeah.
So if somebody has put in 69 million, that to a guy from Singapore, let me just investigate. What the fuck is this?
Yeah.
I cannot just disregard it or discard it. This is also simultaneously when I was in the zone of getting into art big time. So, true story. 2019, I was working in Bombay for a sports firm, and I had a free weekend. And I was just going through eventsbrite.com for all free conferences in the city. That is something that I have very actively done. Going to places, people, events which are not necessarily in my circle. And then I came across this thing called Antiques Conference, India Antiques Conference 2019, something like that. And it was just something, I felt something interesting about it. And I just read a little bit about it. It's about the art market of the country. And art has always been almost mystical to me as an industry.
Yeah.
And I thought, you know what, 3,000, 4,000 something was the ticket, a 2-day event. I said, okay, cool, I'm just going to go check it out. I go there and you've seen those stereotypical movie depictions of an art gallery.
Yeah.
very high society people wearing some really weird stuff are just looking at a plain wall,
Yeah.
trying to comprehend, oh, this was the hidden meaning of this artist.
Yeah.
I'm not kidding. I entered in that room. Just trying to understand what the fuck is happening here. What the fuck is happening here? And I was the only guy there who was not from the art industry. Who was like visually, you see me because I wore my cargos,
Yeah.
my sneakers, my cargos, and a pullover, and I'm there. And you've got artists, you've got collectors, you've got government officials from Archaeological Site of India, Department of India. You've got every stakeholder who is either directly or indirectly neck deep in art industry.
Yeah.
And here I am just walking around. Arey, who are you? I'm just see. I really love to go to places where nobody knows me and come out with like at least 5 to 10 contacts.
Yeah.
Like people whom I can call. It just gives me a trip. It's like fuck. It's like going among the get thrown at the wolves and coming back with the wolf pack, something of that. At least in my head. But so I go there and I meet. So there was this particular lawyer I met in Bombay. Ganesh something, and he works specifically in legal disputes in the art industry. Okay. And I'm like, Ganesh. Of course, we spoke a little bit, and then I'm like, Ganesh, I'm not from this industry, man, but I understand business. I'm a sportsman. I'm an MBA grad, so I understand business, and you understand business more than at least the artist and the collectors. These guys are sheerly art,
they're lost.
Philosophy. Okay, there is some objectivity here. I go to him and I ask, just if you could very briefly tell me what's this about. And you know what he told me in retrospect really changed the trajectory of my life. He told me that, Niraj, ammunition and art, these are two industries in the world that no government can regulate. And it blew something in my mind, was like epiphany, nirvana. Like, what? Then the question is why? Why aren't government agencies around the world being able to regulate these industries? What is about the innate mechanisms of this industry that it cannot be regulated? This is 2019, early 2019. And that is when I began my study in art industry. And I've always considered myself an artist. Not a traditional artist, but I think it's a way of approaching things. It's a way of thinking which makes you an artist. It has nothing to do with your profession. And I thought that, it's exciting. It's exciting and it's worth researching upon. The entire 2019, I read a lot of books. There's this book called The 12 Million Shark. You should read it. It's about, I think in 2008, there's this artist called Damien Hirst, who was, until some time back, the richest artist alive. All he did was, he got a shark, he cut it in 3 pieces, he put this forky thing, and he put it on display. And it was sold for 12 million. Wow. That's it. He didn't even bother to interpret it, because you know what? The top artists never interpret their work. They just throw it out there. It's up to you. It's up to you what you make of this. And many such incidences in the art industry. Who are the big players? Who are the auction houses here? How does government play a role? What is the autonomy of an artist? How important is an agent? And the more I'm reading about art and the industry, the more I'm thinking to myself, fuck, man. This is like a movie. The characters in this movie, they are like, they can't be real. This can't be real functioning. And I thought, wow, man, I definitely want to be a part of this. It's just very exciting. And the commerce is unbelievable. Because who will tell me that this is not $1 billion? How can you subjectively cancel out that statement? I'm saying this is a $1 billion cup. And because I've drunk, now I'm taking it's $2 billion. subjectively there is no way, no matter even if you're an Einstein, you cannot cancel this out that this is not a $2 billion cup. And if I'm able to convince somebody,
that's the part. No, someone needs to believe that it's worth $2 billion. The thing about coming back to NFTs, the reason that they're selling, like some NFTs are selling for that much, is because people believe the value in it. Even with like cryptocurrency, Bitcoin, it's because people believe in its value. Otherwise, if people don't believe in it, it has no value.
See, most of the people who are investing in an NFT or a cryptocurrency are doing it out of belief. But there's a very few number of people who actually understand it, who've academically put in the time and efforts to study it. So some 6 months back, I did my course on NFT expert from Blockchain Council. Till that point, I had a very superficial understanding of NFTs and blockchain. Although I really spent a lot of time. I always thought that I knew more than the most. And that was true to an extent. But after doing that course, like actually putting in the hours to study it, I was like, no, this game is not about art. This game is not about tokens. It's a different game altogether. Blockchain as a technology is going to disrupt everything which is central. Our entire society today is based on centralization. What is a country? It's a centralized mechanism for controlling a geography. What is a bank? It is a centralized authority to regulate currency. What is any brand, what is it? It's a centralized authority for that. Nike is centralized for sports, shoes. Louis Vuitton is centralized for fashion. This is the world of centralized agencies, entities. Blockchain promises to make the world decentralized. That is scary for people who've got Western interests in centralized agencies. But for the people, blockchain is the biggest, I would say, one of the biggest inventions since fire, wheel, internet. So I am a big believer of cryptocurrency, not from the point of view of faith or belief. Objectively. Having learned it, having studied it, and learning the trends around it. Here it's just putting in the work and study. That's the unsexy stuff. That's the
learning.
Thing.
Because the thing with cryptocurrency, I feel like it's been branded not in the best way. Because the branding, at least the exchanges, like if the advertisements of exchanges in the last year have just skyrocketed. You're watching IPL, every ad is a crypto exchange. The way they sell it is like, put in 100 rupees, become a millionaire. And that's not true in any way. You put in 100 rupees in a year, you'll probably have 60 rupees. Like
you probably will have zero. But kaisa hai na, see, I mean, who are they targeting? They're not targeting you and me. They're targeting the majority of the youth who are still living in rural areas. They're not targeting the youth of the Punas and the Bangalores and the Delhis. They also come in. But the main audience are the ones living in a tier 3, tier 4 village / city. So, I think in the overall scheme of things, even that is a good thing. Because at least there is some awareness. A very small piece of the puzzle, but definitely some awareness.
At least it gets them to that place. But now whoever after going there wants to do a lot of research and learn about it, they'll do well. Otherwise, and I think these exchanges make money based on the transactions, right? So like they don't care if it's a 100 rupee transaction. They just need a high number of transactions. So even if someone's putting 10 rupees, they're gonna get a cut.
They're getting a commission out of it now. They don't care if you have a profit. They have their business structure is such that they are going to be profitable irrespective of you losing or gaining.
It has nothing to do with the market.
So
that's interesting. Now, what about the project that you're working on?
So my entire point was NFTs currently is at a stage where there is so much ambiguity about it. I want to spread the education. My whole idea with aesthetics, which is my new series on NFTs, is that with art and NFTs, is that through the medium of art, let me educate the people about NFTs. NFTs as a technology, see, NFTs is built on blockchain again.
Yeah.
And it has got its use cases, the use cases of NFTs
Countless.
is countless, is truly revolutionary. But you cannot shove it in the mouth of the people. No, you have to give them bits of information. So I know that people like to consume content, and at the end of the day, I'm a content creator with whatever I'm doing, with a comic or with a film or with a branding campaign. I'm putting out content. That's what I'm doing. That's what even you're doing. I want to educate people, at the same time entertain them, and also make them aware of a social cause. So with aesthetics, every episode which I'm going to do is be tied into a social cause.
Okay.
So now with the first episode, we went to Budhwar Peth during the second wave, the thick of the pandemic.
For people who don't know, Budhwar Peth is like the red light.
Yeah, it's
area.
one of the biggest red light areas of the country, and the biggest in Pune.
Yeah.
And May 2021, yes, May 7th is when I went. My God, everything is closed. Police have blocked the roads. They don't allow you to go. People are scared for their lives. My whole idea initially was to get artists on board and go and get it done.
Yeah.
But I couldn't find a single artist, even when I was ready to pay for it. At the end, I decided, you know what, fuck it, I'm going to go there and I'm going to do it myself. And we divided the entire painting. So we went there and we found a wall on a wall at a brothel. We went there, we convinced the owner of the brothel that this is something that we are doing, and they don't understand tech.
Yeah. Imagine trying to explain
NFTs to
Yeah.
So the whole point was ki yaar, long story short, I'm going to raise money for you. मेरे को बस आपका दीवार दे दो. That's it. That he understands. Money everybody understands. So I was like, fuck everything. I didn't tell about NFTs because he wouldn't understand.
Yeah.
That would make it difficult for me.
Yeah.
I just went to him. I'm like, देखो, मैं ये बना रहा है तुम्हारे इस पे, और ये मैं बेचने वाला है, और तुमको पैसा मिलने वाला है. उसने बोला पैसा मिलेगा, मैं बोला मिलेगा. और like, great, go. But even till coming to that point, police, NGO, fucking just the logistics of it. You won't believe I took ladders on my car, people in my car, paints, matlab, I don't know yaar, kya matlab I had to pull off. At one point I had to, police was against it.
Yeah.
Police was, nahi, COVID चालू है, काय करता है तुम्ही, XYZ. Just going, pleading, putting in some connections, just sheerly, it was so much of work, man. So much of work just to get a day. It was almost a month of regularly going to Budhwar Peth. And my family even doesn't know. Probably this is the first time they're going to know about it. Just going every day. And you know what? Before that, I have never went to that area of the city.
I was going to ask you, what is it like? I've been there once.
Okay.
Because it was like a late night, and there's some shops that like they sell liquor even till 4 or 5 in the morning. So I went there once. But like we were just so scared. We were like, look straight, don't look anywhere else. What is it like there? What does it look like?
Imagine you are in a supermarket.
Okay.
And you enter an aisle. On the left hand side you see products. On the right hand side you see products. You can go pick up any product, go to the counter, pay for it, and fuck off. Yeah. It's the same thing. You enter a lane. On the left hand side there are women. On the right hand side there are women. And there are pimps around these women. Now it's a very harsh example, but this is the truth of the area.
Yeah.
It's almost sad, man. It is sad. It is sad that women are treated as commodities.
Yeah.
And if you know me, anybody who's been enough time with me, around with me, knows that I am very, very touchy when it comes to anything women. I have been raised up by women, man. Well, if anyone anywhere misbehaves with a woman in my surroundings,
Yeah.
I take it as a personal attack.
Yeah.
And just seeing that happening to women there and having no control over it, what the fuck am I going to do there?
But are like these women are they trafficked,
They're
or
trafficked. They're trafficked.
like none of them is there by choice?
None of them, not by their choice. All of them are trafficked. Either from a rural village in in Bengal, or some place in Karnataka. They are all from rural villages, and most of them, if not all of them, they don't even have an Aadhaar card. They don't even have a basic essential like a government identity on them. So tomorrow,
Yeah.
if they want to really escape,
They're ghosts, basically.
they are in. So this is what UN calls the state of statelessness, where no sovereign nation is ready to classify you as a citizen.
Yeah.
So where the fuck are they to go? They don't have education. They don't have money. They don't have skill set. In most cases, they are physically broken in so many ways, mentally traumatized. Where the fuck are they gonna go? Where the fuck are they gonna go? And
So they're just picked up from these.
they're
villages.
trafficked, most of them. So the one sex worker that I got the chance to interview, it's on aesthetics. She was promised to be given a better job, better salary. She was working somewhere in Bengal. Somebody gets her here, forces her into prostitution, and leaves. Now just imagine you're in a foreign place, you don't know the language, you don't know the geography, and somebody has physically forced you into sex. Whom are you going to go to? And you're not allowed to leave the building. You're not allowed to leave the building. Just imagine. That's a breach on so many fronts.
Yeah.
But what the fuck are you going to do about it? And over time, you accept it to be your reality.
But now, where does the law come in? Like, is it completely corrupt? And like, I'm sure the
Funny
authorities are aware of this. It's not a
Funny
secret.
thing, the wall where I've done my artwork, 2 buildings, not even 12 steps from that wall, there's a police station. So it is not that they're not aware of it.
There's nothing they can do about it.
It's such a there is no black and white answer to this, Amin.
Mm-hmm.
It is such a complex web of bureaucracy, corruption, culture. Now, Budhwar Peth is Budhwar Peth from the past 100 years.
Yeah.
Nobody really knows how it started. It was a rice mill. That entire area was a rice mill at one point. I've spoken to a lot of locals in process of documenting aesthetics. I spoke to a lot of locals, pimps, residents, shop owners, visitors. Nobody really knows the origins of it. It's so obscure.
Yeah.
And nobody honestly cares. Nobody cares. And this is how it is on the road, huh? You look at the women, they're like 300, 400, 400, 200. That is how. That is how. And true story. I was there day one of my research for this project. I go in with 2 of my friends, and our aim is very simple: find a wall where we could make this artwork.
Mm-hmm.
After we find the wall, find the owner of the wall of the building, and try to convince them of this whole concept. I go there with 2 of my friends. And my idea is that because it's such a big location and I don't want to spend a lot of time here, let's split. Okay?
Yeah.
2 of my friends go in one direction, I go in one direction. And this is the very first time I'm there, and I'm scared as fuck. I am scared. I'm walking, and I do not know these roads. I do not know these people. I don't know nothing about it. All I know is that I'm looking for a wall. And I keep walking, and I'm in such a flow. I'm just looking. I'm not even looking at the people on the road. I'm just looking at a wall. And mind you, this area, this part of the city is super congested. small dingy lanes,
Yeah.
walls. There are some big roads, but for the most, small roads, dingy lanes, smaller houses, mini cottages, like one room houses. It's
Yeah.
like, 500 rupees, aaja, pop, done, 2 minutes
Yeah.
out. It's like that. It's so commercial transaction.
Yeah.
And I'm just walking, and at this point I don't know where I am. Okay? And as I'm looking, one 40-something old lady walks up to me and she's like, Kitna, 500, आजा. I'm like, नहीं मैडम, मैं वो सब के लिए नहीं है, मेरे को बस बात करना है. And at this point my understanding was like, let me talk to somebody.
Yeah.
I'll pay them off, let me talk to somebody, and they are local. तो they will tell me, अच्छा उधर wall है, उधर ये उधर, ठीक है, पैसा दिया सब हाँ बोलते हैं. She's like, हाँ, we'll talk. I'm like, no, I really want to talk. And we're talking here itself. I'm not going anywhere with you. Take this money. I just want to ask you a couple of questions.
Yeah.
She's like, अरे ठीक है, side में आजा. This is a very dingy lane. Okay, this is a very narrow lane. Okay. The rooms and the roads have no difference. There is nothing to divide it.
Yeah.
There's just a small plywood door. Okay, that is the difference between you being on road and you being inside the room.
Yeah.
Okay. So, and she's like just pulling me. I'm like, ठीक है, रुको. It was almost an hour of looking at walls and getting nothing. I was like, ठीक है, आप बताओ किधर है wall? किधर है? क्या है? बताओ किधर है? And she's pushing me, pulling me inside. I'm like, नहीं. As I'm talking to this 40-something, some 60-something lady comes to me. My God, that also embarrassing. She's also a sex worker. She's also, अरे चला Marathi में, she's trying to hey that this that. The both of them enter the room and they're just तुम्ही आम्ही तुम्हाला सांगतो, we will tell you whatever you want, you come, you talk, you sit with us, ऐसा ठीक है. I am at the threshold. So imagine this, there's a road and just from the road there is this room. There's just this small kadi wala door. ठीक है, you open it and you're inside the room. So I'm at the threshold, at the door, on the roadside, ठीक है, and they are inside.
Yeah.
This young sex worker, probably early 20s, she is behind me. Okay, and she's like, let me go inside. Just to give her some way. So I'm at the threshold of the door. I just tilt Tessa. Go through me and I'm going out. As soon as I tilt, these women just pull me inside. And they lock the door. And the one in her 40s, she's ripping my shirt off. This 20-something girl, she undresses herself and she pounces on me. She's taking my pants off. For 5 seconds, I'm like, what the fuck is happening? I was groped anywhere and everywhere possible. Okay. And it happened so quickly, my brain just froze.
Yeah.
I'm not sure what is happening here. After 5 seconds, it was such, I came into my senses and I'm like, what the fuck? I just, with all my physical might, I just pushed these women away.
Yeah.
They're scratching me. They're like, I just grab my clothes. The woman has almost taken my pants off. I'm just buttoning and I just run outside. And I am running. I'm not kidding. I am running.
Yeah.
And this woman, she's abusing me. She's abusing all kinds of abuses. And last me she says, oh, thank you for the wallet. And I'm like, fuck. My wallet is not in my pants. No, I can't buy. This is too much. Everything is in my wallet. My credit card, debit card, hard cash, everything. My car keys, everything. I run back inside. And how these rooms are, they are like these labyrinths.
Yeah.
Small room, or small room, or small room.
Maze.
Yeah, it's like a maze. As I enter back, this woman has already run. I can see her running in the hallway, but it's like, it's there. It's like 100, 400, 200 meters ahead of me. मेरे दिमाग में ना सावधान इंडिया चल रहा है.
Yeah.
In my head, I can see my dead body in one road early morning outside Budhwar Peth. Nobody knows where this body has come from. This is the image which is running in my head. And I'm running behind her. Because
you can't
I don't know, yaar. At that point, my wallet was really important for me.
Yeah.
Everything is that. My documentation, everything is there. I run behind her. Eventually, I catch her, and then I just push her to as a corner of a wall where these two walls interject.
Yeah.
At that corner, I'm telling, give my fucking wallet, and she's not ready to give it. She is not giving me my wallet. She's like, no, nahi degi, nahi degi, nahi degi, and kaisa na gardi ho raha hai. No, people in their respective rooms, men, women, they are coming out.
Yeah.
Fuck, I cannot be. My friends don't know where I am. My family doesn't know where I am. If something really has to happen, nobody will ever come to know what happened of me. And I'm like, please, didi, behen, auntie, mummy, whatever, please give it to me. Please give me my wallet. Please give me my wallet. Please give me my wallet. She's like, no, nahi degi. She's abusing me. And fuck, matlab, she's taking all my credit cards out. She's, debit cards, identity cards, Aadhaar cards, sab leke. She's like, paisa kidhar hai, and she's rummaging through my wallet.
Yeah.
She takes 700 rupees out of my wallet, and Baki was in another section of it. I just take it, and uska jitna bhi cards hai na, she had it in one hand. I just rip it off her hand, matlab, and somewhere in this raskas she gets hit by my elbow or something, and uske haath se pura khoon aa raha hai. I don't know what to do. Whatever I could grab in my hand, I take it and I run out. Matlab, with all my physical might. I think this is where being a sportsman really helps. I am running at the
Running away from
everyone.
sex workers.
And I run. Then 2 minutes, I don't have any memory of what happened.
Yeah.
Next thing I know, I am in front of a regular Pune road with traffic policemen, vendors, guy, bhais, everyone rocking. And I just stand there for 10 minutes here. Because my body is in a shock. I'm mentally traumatized. What the fuck just happened?
Yeah.
I got mugged by 3 sex workers. One of whom was 60 years old.
Yeah.
I couldn't make sense out of it. I literally took 10 minutes. My body went numb. After 10 minutes, I gathered myself and I quietly walked towards the car. My friends were already around that area. They're sipping their tea, aram se.
Yeah.
They're sitting with some pimp who is their best friend now. And when I go there, my friend tells me, "Arey, mil gaya ball. Tu kidhar tha?" बोला तू बस कार में बैठ भाई, अपन निकल रहे इधर से. We are leaving this place. तो क्या हो गया, बैठना, चाय पीते. I'm like, no, चलो. In the car, I told them what really happened, and those fuckers just started laughing.
Yeah.
It was it's funny. At the end of it, it is a funny thing.
It's
almost funny.
Straight out of a movie. Like if you can see this, but at the same time, I can see how traumatic it was.
Yeah. And you know what? That evening, I remember 1 week from that day. Every single day, back of my mind, I was like,
Yeah.
5 days, I remember for 5 straight days, I was very angry. I was like, bhenchod, mere saath aisa kisne kaisa kiya? How the fuck, the audacity of her, those women to do something like that to me. 4 days, 5 days, really angry, really annoyed. After 6th day, like, wait here. If this woman had to come to this action, what must be her condition? She has to come to a place where she really has to rob and mug people. What's happening in her personal life? What has forced her to act this way? Because I've never seen that side of a woman. I've spent a lot of time with women in mothers, sisters, friends, girlfriends, whatever. Matlab, just that aspect of a woman.
Yeah.
That sheer animalistic aspect, I never thought I would see it in a woman. Really, that was a catalyst that, what, this project needs to be done. Pandemic, no pandemic, apocalypse, fuck it, it needs to be done.
Yeah.
My God. And that was day 1.
How did you even go back there after all that?
Yeah, I mean, I think I don't like to be challenged. Matlab, it's nothing egoistic, but if somebody's challenging me now, I choose my battles very strategically. But if somebody challenges me like that, if life is challenging me like that, now I'm like, I'm gonna show you. It's like now I have to one up this.
Yeah.
It's just by nature I'm a very competitive person. Like, I'm gonna go there again. I was scared, man. I was
Yeah.
but I'm like, I'm gonna go there. I'm gonna go there and I'm gonna go to that street once again. And I'm gonna go and I'm gonna talk to that woman once again. Fortunately or unfortunately, I never saw that woman again there. I went to that street. I went there again. I went there 2 times, 3 times.
Yeah.
Just to see, okay, where is she? What's happening? I couldn't find her. Eventually, I got a wall in the next lane. I went there. We did the entire thing.
Yeah.
We captured it. We were fortunate enough to get the opportunity to get these things on camera. Yeah, that is what aesthetics is. And now what we've done of it, we've minted that picture. We have made an NFT out of it, and now we have put it up on OpenSea.
Yeah.
And I have very symbolically put it at 7 Ethereums. 7 Ethereum is what? We're talking almost 16 lakh rupees.
Yeah.
16 lakhs. But, it's not about the money. I feel this is, by the way, the world's first red light based NFT.
Yeah.
Nothing of this sort has been attempted in the world before. I think this is a cultural heritage of Pune, this piece of art.
Yeah.
And I am currently in talks with some influential people from Pune. I don't want this art piece to go out of Pune, the ownership of it. I want this to stay with the city. So I am in talks with a few people, and soon it will be sold, and part of the proceeds will be directly going to the healthcare and the education of the sex workers of Budhwar Peth.
That was a wild 10 minutes. We started from what NFTs are, and now we're here. Yeah, man, like with that, I was thinking if they're pulling you in the room and doing all that, it's like almost like even if they have to force you to do whatever, you're gonna have to pay them at the end of it. Otherwise, they have people who are gonna come and fuck you up if you refuse to pay.
Yeah.
And I feel like after living like that for so long, you're kind of like dehumanized. Like you don't think of yourself as a person anymore.
Exactly.
Because on paper, you're not even a person. You don't exist. And you're living in those conditions. I don't think you're going to make the smartest decisions after that.
True, man. And even like, let's say this particular sex worker does earn 500. How much of it is really going to her?
Yeah.
The brothel owner is a middleman there. The pimp is a middleman there. How much of it is really going in her pocket?
And what is she going to do with that money if it does go to her pocket? She
Most
doesn't
of
have
it
a life of her own, right?
Yeah, but yeah, she doesn't have a life of her own. That is true. But most of them do have a family to support.
They have kids.
They have kids. The one that I interviewed, and it was a Mother's Day that day, I remember. Just hit me, yaar. It just hit me. What the fuck is happening here?
Yeah.
And most of their families don't even know they're here. Don't even know what's the real deal. Why are they working in Pune? They say they're working in a hospital or whatever crap. Nobody knows they're actually...
That is...
It is, man. It is... It is what it is. But yeah, excited. On a related note, that was episode 1 of NFT, of aesthetics. This year I plan to make an entire series out of it, around the themes of death, around the themes of fear, around the themes of liberty.
Yeah.
I have identified certain geographies in the country, certain cities, which I believe I can craft a story around.
Yeah.
Because with Pune, with Budhwar Peth and sex as the theme, it's an entire story that we've crafted. So at the end of the day, you are not only getting educated on NFTs, you also know, or you are being made aware of a social problem where you could actually contribute if you decide to.
Yeah. Okay, where can people find you, and where can people...
Couple of places. Straight off the bat, Instagram, Niraj Puran Rao, NIRAJ PURANRAO, Niraj Puran Rao.
I'll put it in the description.
Great, we are going to cancel this out there. But yeah, apart from that, Canopy Lore Crafts, again on YouTube and Instagram, and Confluence Media. So you can DM me, any of you who's watching this right now is a creator, anyone who is doing something interesting or wants to be part of something interesting. Definitely DM us, and we are always up for having interesting conversations with people like you, and yeah, making Pune into something of a beauty, man. I mean, this city really has something to it.
Yeah, we're gonna bring it to the world.
Definitely, man. We are the guys who bring Pune on the world map.
Yes.
That's what we do. Chalo.
It's been a pleasure.
Thank you, Amin. Ali, thank you.